How's everybody doing today? I have a bit of a treat for you. So I have a Ford Focus ST, which takes the D8S Headlight. It's a 2014. I think ever since 2015, I've been looking for a headlight upgrade. Now these are HIDs, which you'd think would be plenty of light, but this is a kind of a different system. And if you found this video by searching D8S, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a 25 watt system instead of a 35 watt. Now, finding an HID kit for this is rather tough. I've gone through actually 4 kits and none of them have actually worked. This is the original bulb here. So it looks a lot like the D3S kit. Or light. The only change is I think there's a little notch taken out that the D8 has, but the D3S does not. Now this I've replaced recently, and that's actually why I'm making this video, is because I found a brand that actually makes a replacement for this that is an actual upgrade, and it's not an HID. We'll get to that in a moment. This kit I got from DDM Tuning. I actually purchased 2 kits from DDM Tuning at 2 different times. They kind of switch things around over time, and I waited about 2 years and ordered 2 different kits. The other kit, I don't know where it is, but the lights work, but the ballasts do not. It's not a plug and play anymore. That doesn't work. I was also told, and from a Focus ST forum, that a factory Osram D3S ballast would get me there as well. That also to no avail. These were brand new. 35 watt, I had to label them. I had so many kits to try and keep them in order. And again, the bulbs did work, but it was still a 35 watt bulb in a 25 watt ballast in the original ballast. So I even have like mounting stuff so things weren't vibrating, but I haven't had a ballast sitting there because I've just been running the original ballast with upgraded lights. And really the lights themselves is not really an upgrade because you can only put through the energy that you're putting through. To be on point now, I found a solution. This is the D series from Flashark. And I don't know if it's pronounced Flashark or Flashark, but it's an LED, and the LED is an actual upgrade from the 25 watt. This is their website. That bulb on the left, it's a different box. They just changed their packaging. I was asking them about that. I was like, why does my box look like your box? But the one on the left, and these are a $79, and it's basically a 35 watt HID equivalent. I've been next to a lot of other vehicles, and really it performs more like a 45 watt. Now, in the past on my old car, I've had a 35 watt, a 55 watt, a 75 watt, which was an off-road use only, which we're not talking about, 75 watt, and a 100 watt HID set up on my old car. So I know my lights fairly well. I've done conversions on, like I said, my old car several times over, 2 motorcycles, 3 other vehicles. So it kind of blew me away that I wasn't able to find a kit that would actually work on the D8S. But I guess all the other applications were from halogen to HID. Now I'm from HID to a better HID, and it's near impossible, especially for the D8S. I even have a Ford Edge Sport, which has the D8 or the D3S system, which you think would be cross-compatible, but I've taken out all the wiring from those headlights to put them into here to see if they'd work, to see if I want to buy another set, and it doesn't work. The lights won't even turn on. So there's something in the programming that does not allow really any sort of upgrade. So these are the old bulbs, and here are the new bulbs. These are an organic LED. Let me zoom in. See how many cells there are. There are 15 cells on either side. Now, being a projector lamp, there's not much to worry about as far as cutoff. Like a 100 or a 1 in 100 chance, you're going to have a weird projection and the way they actually line up out there. But I've had really no issue with that. They look great. So Flashark got me here. I was kind of waiting for LEDs to, make their way and finally become viable, and I think they're finally there. So I'm going to show you real quick on this Focus ST how to install these bad boys. Actually, what I did is, like I said, I took a little bit of a risk and bought another set to swap them out for the 7th time, And these are an actual upgrade. I haven't made any other videos on those other ones because none of them work, but this one actually works and it's an actual upgrade. For the Focus ST, it's fairly simple. It's 2 bolts. They're a torque screw here and here. Real quick, if you've been looking in with a T30 Torx, if you've been looking to upgrade your headlights, you've probably already done this a few times. So I think I've had this one apart about 20 times over its lifetime. So these are coming right out. So I got one hand on the camera, so I'm doing this all one-handed. Hope I don't drop anything. And this just kind of wiggle itself out. These are always fun. You get back in. I found that pulling it pretty much straight forward with a little bit of wiggle action is usually the best case. There we go. That was hanging me up, that little notch. Actually, this one I've taken apart so many times it's cracked. So careful there. I wasn't anticipating just one hand. There we go. Okay, so she's free. Now, next step would be take apart this. This I've actually, like I said, taken apart so many times I've broken that little tang. Luckily, I'm good enough that I've done this more than enough times. But it's this boot on the backside. And I'm going to grab another flashlight. This flashlight. This boot on the back side is going to pop right off. Relocate my light here. I'm going to take off that boot. Fairly simple. Little rubber boot. Nothing special there. Put that aside. And that may not look right, but this is actually, when I open that box, that's my second set. That's my backup set. So I'm about to pull out what's actually been in there, and I've had these for about almost 2 months now. And I'm in Colorado where it gets cold, and it was negative 15 degrees, and these lights did great. I had no issues. So for getting this out, unplug, actually even to unplug, I don't even need to do that. But farther in, you'll find that black ring. All you have to do, it's an 1/8 of a turn counterclockwise. So you reach in there, you find one of those tangs, 1/8 of a turn. Now it's loose. Getting the wiring to clear is always fun. It's like removing any other light. And like I said, the D8S system, it's not on a ton of vehicles. I think the Mustangs, those with the HIDs have them. There we go. Now I'm going to unplug this. Don't fall. There we go. Now, the one thing I will say is that this black ring does not come with the lights. That comes with your car. I think, and I'm fairly certain, that all the D8S systems come with this black ring. So that's one of the, I'm not sure if it's a main difference between the D3S, because I think some of those have it as well. But the best thing to remember is if you're going to replace these, you need to keep note or make note of the orientation from the plug to where this thing sits, because getting that back in, if you don't remember, it's kind of hit and miss and you're doing a lot of guessing. Also, this ring won't want to slide on properly. So that ring will basically just pull off on the only direction that it can. But that will slip off, slip back on. So originally that ring, this black ring, was on the old previous light. Slipped right over. No fitment issues. That's what was great. It's the exact same plug here, other than the color. So there's no little tab. It has the little tab, and it's in the right place. So all of that was totally fine. Believe it or not, I actually had to want to say I had to break the tab off of this one to actually make it work, because that was a D3S, and that's one of those little changes. But this is exactly those, as you can see. So this is my backup set, because I don't want to have to wait. You know, I have a light go out, and from what I can tell, they're not going to go out, but I hate not having a backup. So I did order another set once I knew they were good lights. From DDM Tuning, I used to do the same thing. I'd order one. If they worked and I liked them, I'd order another set as a pair of spares. I'm that kind of person, I guess. You can't exactly go to the store and find one of these, you know what I mean? No overheating issues at all. It's starting to warm up here in Colorado, so and this engine runs fairly hot anyway. I don't have the cover on or anything. But no overheating issues. Like I said, I'd probably rate these. They're slightly brighter than a 35-watt HID. Any other car on the road, for example, you know, a Mercedes, a Land Rover, all of those. Acura is pretty close to these. In my opinion, Mercedes, Acura, and Land Rover are kind of the top for HIDs. Now everyone's kind of going to an LED, and this is... It's up there. It's a competitor with them, and it's $80. Or at least it was when I bought it. Maybe they might raise the price for you guys. But this is, what's today? April 2nd. But $80. I don't have the smaller ones. I'm not sure if those are any good. But I made sure to check with them. Hey, you know, I've tried many other types, and if D3S, but they say D8S, but I assumed they were just making an assumption. We all made assumptions. But for this system, they work great. So these are bright. I have some before and after pictures. I have a ton of before and after pictures of failed before pictures from all these other systems. But these, like I said, probably run at about a 45-watt HID as far as output. No issues, even in the cold. Like I said, negative 15 degrees. It doesn't get any better than that. If you can take out your light, you can put it in. The fun part, like I said, the hardest part is this black ring. If you know that the plug, and this sits at, I don't know, 1:30, 2 o'clock on the plug, then there's your install. And then that the plug goes downward. We were upside down a moment ago, but it goes downward when you plug it in. That's the extent of the install. It's about as easy as it gets. Now, it runs off the original ballast, and that ballast is connected underneath here. So it's still running 25 watts, but what they're getting out of 25 watts is pretty much the equivalent of, like I said, and this is kind of more of a judgment call, about a 45 watt from an HID. So what they've done energy-wise is it's more efficient that way. Because if that ballast is only putting out 25 watts, then, I mean, you're getting a lot more light and less heat. It's a win-win situation. Next video will be fog lights. Those are the original fog lights. Those are halogens. And I'm going to see what Flashark has for fog lights. I believe these are, I think they're an H11. Might be an H9. I don't know. I got too many lights in my head. But that'll be the next step for an install. And I really want to see what those are going to look like, because I'm very pleased with these. Give me a moment. I'll go. I'll plug this all together and I'll turn the lights on. They look almost the same. You know, you can't really tell just looking at the headlight. But I'm going to include a bunch of pictures and another part of this video that will show actual performance before and after. So we'll go from there. All right, so here we are. I didn't start the car, but the key is on. The key is on, so push start. But here we go with them running. So the fan, it kicked on right away. I thought it'd be louder, but it's pretty quiet. And I'll tell you what, the fins on the outside are nice and thin. So you got a lot of surface area. What I ended up doing for one of my other kits was cutting these little slits in, because I had to run wires through there. But I'm not sure if that'll help with ventilation and just keeping it cool. But like I said, no issues. It's warm, and that's what you expect, but not hot. Now here, I guess I have the opportunity to point this wherever I'd like. Against my wall. So They're bright. They're it's definitely an upgrade. Look how dirty the lens is too. Let me wipe that off real quick. Oh, I got a bunch of chips on here. So this isn't even the best example, but they are one bright light. And of course, exposure time and all of that for video, pictures, we've all seen how it's kind of finagled together, but I genuinely attest that these are definitely an upgrade from the originals, from the 25 watt HIDs. That's the only reason I'm making this video, is because they're actually a darn good product. Again, Flashark. And like I said, I've been looking more through their website, and they have plenty of lights. Pretty much all, everything what you're looking for. I think the H11, see what we can find. H4, H7, H11, they got 9000, 9005, probably have 9006 in. There you go, right there, 9006 on the right. They've got them all, and well, like I said, it's been 2 months, no issues, and it's an actual upgrade. So those of you with D8S, if you're looking for an upgrade, this is really it. It's hard to find an upgrade. It's impossible. I've been looking for almost 8 years. 7, 8 years, trying to get these put together, obviously, both sides. But I am very pleased. Here come the before and afters.